Even before the summer break, Ferrari team principal Frederic Vasseur had his sights set on the races following the Dutch Grand Prix, considering them more favorable to the characteristics of the Maranello team's 2024 F1 single-seater. Some, like Aston Martin driver Fernando Alonso, even believe that between the upcoming 3 rounds of the 2024 Formula One Championship, namely Monza, Baku, and Singapore, Scuderia, Ferrari will be the car to beat. While positioning the prancing horse as the favorite for the home race may seem overly optimistic, there are still several reasons to expect an even more competitive Ferrari than what was seen in the Netherlands last weekend, when Charles Leclerc secured an unexpected podium finish. The first reason for hope in Maranello is the arrival at Monza of the third evolutionary aerodynamic package of the 2024 Formula One season, the first since the one introduced at the Circuit de Catalunya in the Spanish Grand Prix last June. A key factor for a competitive Ferrari weekend will be ensuring that the on-track behavior of the updates matches the expectations that have been set back at the factory. The priority of the new aerodynamic package is to reduce the sensitivity to bouncing that the SF-24 has suffered from since the start of the 2024 Formula One Championship, with the problem becoming more acute since the race in Barcelona. Fast corners like Parabolica-Alboreto and Variante Ascari will be crucial in verifying whether the issue is finally under control. In recent months, the bouncing issues have significantly affected the performance of the Ferrari in fast corners, particularly at the Silverstone circuit. However, in the Belgian Grand Prix at the 7-kilometer Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, the Maranello team used a compromise setup, raising the car to reduce sensitivity to porpoising but sacrificing some aerodynamic downforce from the floor. This negatively impacted overall aerodynamic efficiency, especially on the straights. Eliminating bouncing at Monza would allow Ferrari to regain efficiency and straight-line speed, with the hope of returning to the levels seen at the start of the season when Ferrari excelled in high-speed corners. Another reason for optimism for Ferrari at Monza is the absence of long, medium to low-speed corners. This has been a chronic weakness of the SF-24 single-seater, exposed by the many hairpins at Zandvoort, particularly the challenging Turn 10. Finally, the Italian Grand Prix returns to a Mediterranean climate, with ambient temperatures expected to exceed 30 degrees Celsius. These conditions are favorable for Ferrari, which has often managed to hit the optimal tire operating window in such weather. The Italian side is racing in front of its home fans, but at the same time, all eyes are on last Sunday's winners. It couldn't be otherwise, with Lando Norris managing to pull an average gap of over 0.3 per lap on both Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc in the second stint of the Dutch Grand Prix, with uncertainty about how much the British driver was truly pushing to the limit. However, Monza is not Zandvoort, where the hairpins highlighted the high downforce generated by the McLaren cars at medium to low speeds. Additionally, it's unlikely that the Woking team will find the mild temperatures in Italy that the MCL-38 enjoyed in the Netherlands. The main concern, however, revolves around performance with the low-drag configuration typically used for the Monza circuit. Compared to last season, McLaren has made progress in low-drag efficiency, but at Spa-Francorchamps, team principal Andrea Stella admitted that development in this area was incomplete. The former Ferrari track engineer believed that the car was well set up in high downforce configuration and performed as expected, particularly in terms of aerodynamic behavior. However, he also noted that progress in reducing aerodynamic drag was still limited. McLaren isn't entering Monza feeling defeated, but it does appear more human compared to the dominant performances seen in Budapest and Zandvoort. On high-efficiency tracks with high-speed corners like Monza, the world champion's car remains the one to beat, as pointed out by Andrea Stella himself during the Zandvoort weekend. However, the Milton Keynes team is experiencing some confusion, with driving difficulties, balance, and setup issues emerging during the season's development phase of the RB20. In order to assess the situation in the Netherlands, the two Red Bull cars ran with different configurations at the Zandvoort, with Sergio Perez using the early season floor and his teammate Max Verstappen the latest updated version. The Mexican driver observed that the Austrian team had now gained an understanding of what was happening with the RB20 car. He indicated that the focus was on how quickly they could address the problems, as they were aware of the issues and what was lacking to return to a more competitive pace. Red Bull heads to Monza uncertain about which floor to use, but that's not the only question. There's also curiosity about whether a dedicated low-drag aerodynamic package will be brought from Milton Keynes, something that was absent during the previous race in Belgium. Finally, there's Mercedes, whose hopes for Monza hinge on the competitiveness shown at Spa and Silverstone, other high-efficiency tracks with plenty of fast corners. However, Toto Wolff isn't convinced that the disappointing performance at Zandvoort is solely due to the characteristics of the Belgian track. There could be a correlation with the new floor, which is expected to be closely watched during the Italian weekend. Adding to the uncertainties is the recent resurfacing of the Italian circuit, which is still lacking rubber. A rapid evolution of the track is therefore expected over the weekend, with teams needing to adjust balance and downforce levels according to the actual grip levels encountered. The Monza track, the fastest in the entire championship and therefore known as the Temple of Speed, is characterized by long straights and few chicanes. It requires extremely low aerodynamic drag, pushing teams to bring specific aerodynamic solutions for this track. The design of the Prima Variante has been revised, but the corners that define the soul of the circuit are the two Lesmo corners, turn 6, 7, the Ascari chicane, turns August 9th 10, and the Alboreto, also known as the Parabolica, turn 11. The most stressed tire is the front left. In particular, the highest temperatures are reached in the Parabolica, turn 11, the only long-duration corner on the track. High temperatures are also seen near the chicanes, where braking on entry and traction on exit are crucial. However, the average temperature remains contained during the lap due to the long straights, which allow the tread to cool significantly thanks to convection with the outside air. For this weekend, Pirelli has chosen the softest set available, C3C4C5, despite the high longitudinal stress caused by the heavy braking and acceleration required in the chicanes and the significant use of curbs. The expected grip this year is uncertain due to the new track surface laid across the entire circuit. This will be a variable not to be underestimated in terms of tire wear and therefore in defining race strategies. Expected wear for the race at the Monza circuit is medium to low, slightly higher on the left side due to the greater number of right-hand corners. Due to the new track surface, tire wear will be an important factor throughout the weekend. The possibility of rain during the Italian Grand Prix weekend should also not be underestimated, as it is not uncommon to have unstable weather at this time of year. Pit stop strategies will have less impact since overtaking is relatively easy on the circuit's long straights. Special attention should be given to the curbs, which are lower than in previous years, encouraging teams to stiffen suspension mechanics to enhance the floor's aerodynamics. The priority will be to make the most of every minute on track, suggesting a weekend worth following closely from the free practice sessions. It's a Grand Prix that Ferrari doesn't enter as the favorite, but with plenty of valid reasons to believe in a strong performance.